Okay, we're going to jump right into this. I'm Taisei of Taisei Discovers. Today is nostalgic for me because I'm interviewing or having a conversation with a man that I've respected for over 20 years. You know, when it comes to hip hop in Hawaii, there are a couple of figures that really stand out to me, and James Westbrook is one of them. He is currently doing Slapp Radio, Slapp with 2 P's, the sight and sound of the Pacific, a channel that I've been watching closely for a long time, and a channel that's also influenced me a lot in my own individual journey. James Westbrook, welcome to Taisei Discovers, my friend.
It's an honor to be here. I've been looking forward to this. I've been seeing your work, man. You and your brother, you guys are doing it up, man. So thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah, man. You know, you told me on the way up that this is your first podcast, but it's not your first rodeo when it comes to media, right? Your channel right now is extremely raw. That's one thing that I like about it so much, is that it's raw. It's not like this huge, massive production that has a lot of moving parts. It's like you and your intention. Slapp Radio, what's up with that?
Yeah, so Slapp Radio actually came about because I was doing music, Slapp Symphony, and that was Slapp with 2 P's with my Uso Letilet. Shout out to him. And we were working on the last track that we worked on. We did a lot of mixtapes. We did a lot of albums. And then the last project that we worked on, we were like, yo, let's get this on the radio. Let's do our best to get this on the radio. So we tried, we did our thing, and, you know, it didn't come out. So I was kind of like, all right, this is, where'd I go from here? You know, because we've been trying for quite some time. And then there's a whole backstory with Slapp Symphony too as well. With my Uso Letilet, you know, he's a street dude, you know what I'm saying? So he was living that street life, you know what I mean? I was trying to make it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm flying all over the place. But, you know, we're still good friends right now. We're still really good friends. That's my Uso. Before we were doing Slapp Symphony. And I was just kind of sitting at the park with my other Uso named Trusik. And it's funny because when you're in Hawaii, anywhere in the world, this could be like a destination. It was like a waterfall. It was in Kalihi, but there's nobody there. It's just me and my Uso, and we're just kicking back. And then I told him, man, I'm like, yo, man, you know, I'm not too sure about Slapp Symphony, not too sure where to go from here. And he looks at me, he goes, Oos, why don't you start your own radio station? You can play whatever you want. So I looked at him and I was like, man, that's a good point. And then I got with DJ Drama, and we ended up coming up with Slapp Radio instead, because I still wanted to hold true to Slapp, you know, which means anything that represents anything that's good. Conversation slap, food slaps, beat slaps. And then we came up with Slapp Radio, and we just kept going, moving with it.
Does that have anything to do with your Samoan origins, like Sasa?
Yeah, that's a good one. It was Letty that came up with the slap part, because he's originally from Oceanside, California. So he came down here when we were in high school. We met in Honolulu High School. You know, I'm from Salt Lake and Red Hill. And we were just kind of coming up with names, and we came up with like House of Slapp and all this kinds of stuff. And then just Slapp Symphony sounded well. And so the terminology more so comes to the, you know, Bay Area, California side. But it can also represent that too.
Because I know you were Oos, bro. I'll tell you something real quick. Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
Said I'm 4% Samoan.
Oh, what's up, Oos?
My 2 big toes, guys. Okay. Samoan blood. I tell that to all my Oos friends, and they're all like, okay, whatever, dog.
What's up?
But it's something that, like, I kind of like, you know, I feel kind of, I always felt connected with Samoans, like just me being black, and like the energy that Samoans carry, the singing, the soul, right, the culture. So I've always had like affinity for Samoan people, and I grew up around them too. So I mean, let's talk about Slapp Symphony real quick, because I have a connection with Slapp Symphony through slow motion, slow mo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying, like Slow Motionopolis. 9-4 block, Ani Ani, you know what I'm saying? Like I have a connection with him because of my connection with M.A. Jick, Justin Johns, his government name. And at 19 years old is when I met Justin, and he was part of a group called Isolated Minds, right? And that, I think it was slow-mo M.A. Jick, and then I think Mushmouth was a part of that too, right?
That's correct. Yep.
So at my infancy, when I when I started budding in the rap game, and when I realized I wanna start rapping and take it seriously, Jick was the one that kind of guided me. He was like a mentor to me. So I think in the beginning when I would look and I'd be in ciphers with guys like Mush and Slow and Jick, I would hear your name all the time. Hey, Westbrook dropped a beat. We got this new beat from James. You know what I mean? Slapp Symphony. But I never really hung out with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I might have seen you at a couple shows or something, but we didn't never really have that connection. What's dope is now in modern time, our connection is because of media, because of content creation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I watch you, you watch me. I'm like, I repost you, you repost me. And like, it's just like this non-spoken understanding that we have and support that we have, because we are cut from the same cloth. Hip hop, Hawaii hip hop. Right?
Very true.
So Slapp Symphony, you guys were doing your thing with Letty. You was producing music. You were providing beats for my camp, which, you know, you were connected with Slow and the Samoan aspect, brotherhood. And, we both evolved in our own lanes separately. But now, look how we came together for this particular project. I think that is wonderful. So your connection with Slow, you still talk to Slow?
Absolutely.
You still making beats?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
Oh, me personally, no, I'm not making beats right now.
Okay.
But I'm a fan of it. So yeah, we produce other things. I produce this thing called a producer showcase, which I just bring other producers and give them a platform, because I knew what it was like coming up and not having really a platform. I had to travel out. But actually, shout out to Light Sleepers, man. Light Sleepers was putting on Beat Roots. Okay. And of course, I remember Jaitik, man. I've been hearing your name for so long already, you know what I mean? I've been seeing your visuals too. I think it was MySpace, I think. But Jaitik, even Kalo Patch Kids, man. You know what I mean? Those were some great beats, great flows. I feel like you created an essence around what I would like to listen to, even at that time, but just hearing more local references, because at the time I wasn't hearing too much local references in the way that I wanted to hear them. And plus, you guys had Illmind beats. I mean, come on now. You guys had Illmind beats.
Oh my gosh.
And Illmind was just, at that point, I already knew, I was like, yo, this guy right here, Illmind, he's something else. But then to hear them on hear your guys' vocals on top of the records was crazy to me. And so, yeah, I agree. I think the last time we linked up was at Roy's.
Yeah.
When I hit you up.
True.
Yeah.
For like a reggae night or something.
Yeah. It was something like that. And then we just linked up and kind of chopped it up. And I think that was my first time actually chopping it up with you live in the flesh. Otherwise, we just kind of knew each other for quite some time. And yes, through media, and now we're here. So it's funny.
Okay. But I feel like I know you like on a deeper level. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this is like a cold interview. Yeah. It's like a very warm interview, a very comfortable one, because like, bro, like I said, we cut from the same cloth.
Absolutely.
So, I do want to get into content creation. What is the vision for Slapp Radio and some of these wonderful interviews that you're doing, man?
Good question. What is the goal? Well, the goal for us is to just provide a platform for people to tell their stories. And I like to say that we do have an emphasis on the Pacific Underground and beyond. And also everything else in between. And we just want to tell stories. And wherever that might take us, we do have a goal in mind. And I know you'd be looking at Bashar.
Oh, yes,
Bashar? Okay.
I am.
Yeah. Okay, so I be, paying attention to Bashar too, and more recently than in the past, and just kind of going with the flow of life. And not really dictating what the outcome is going to look like, but that is going to be the marker of where my passion is. It's going to lead to that point, but whatever that point may be, So that's kind of where I'm at with Slapp Radio. With me and Drama, it's just get music from artists and put them on and put them in a rotation, and then tell stories.
Ooh, so I knew I liked you, but that goes to show that we're on a very similar frequency, because there's not the goal of being rich or famous or, of course those things come with what we do, but the goal is to create the art because the story needs to be told, and there's something innate in us that is driving this. Like, I can't sleep at night because I think about some of the guests that are coming up, and I'm so excited to help tell their story on the platform. Last night, I cried a couple of times because I had to revisit the younger Taisei in order to prepare for this interview. Because I was like, bro, we got such a timeline that I want to make sure that we unpack some of the things, some of the origins. You know what I'm saying? And when I was listening to the music, that's why I posted that thing.
I like that post. I posted that one too.
Yeah, no, I thank you on both of your platforms. So I was like, oh, thank you. I woke up and I forgot I posted it because I was lit and I was in my feels, and then I heard Jumbo Nut Necklace, and I was like, man, this is music that needs to be shared with the world. Because that was a Taisei that was before my current where I'm at now. I have evolved into a different Taisei. But that Taisei, when I look at, was so young and so energetic, so swaggy, so sauced. You know what I mean? And like, I had all this energy that I wanted to I just like rapping to rap. I like the reception that it got from people. Whereas now I just, I rap as an artistic outlet, but I don't have that same, that dog in me, like I did when I was listening to it. I was like, man, it just reminded me. It's not to say that Taisei cannot reemerge, you know what I mean? But it's just dope. So, one thing I did want to talk to you about was the Palestine interview you did with that family, bro.
Yeah.
That was one of the most impactful pieces that I've seen from you. How did that come about?
Yeah, okay. Well, I was at UH Manoa and I was attending a journalist class. And while I was there downstairs, this is when everything started kind of popping off. And so downstairs, there were this guy waving an Israeli flag. And I had no idea. I have no idea what was happening or what was going on. And when I walked down there, they had opposing sides, obviously. So you had the Palestinians and the Israeli people, and they were just kind of going at each other. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And they both were saying like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. So I'm like, man, I have no idea. I need to find out what's happening because they're here on the island too, as well. You know what I'm saying? And so my first interview was with that Israeli guy, and I posted that, and it's got its comments. And then I went to a rally, and I posted a UH professor, Cynthia, and she told her side of the Palestinians and what's happening. And so I'm as I'm going, I'm learning, and I'm also researching too as well. I'm just trying to find, how I'm going to tell these stories. And the whole thing is I'm just going to let them tell their side. That's it. I'm just a medium to just tell their story. And then it wasn't until like a year, I just started really wanting to find people that's boots on the ground, that's really there. I want to get their perspective. So then I just reached out to a bunch of them, and online on Instagram, really. I'm just DMing people, and they were the first ones to get back to me, and they were just asking questions like, what are you going to use this for? What is this? And I said, hey, I just want to just tell your story. That's all. And yeah, that's what we did. We did a couple of, their internet is not that good over there. It was kind of choppy, so we just chopped it up via, what was that, FaceTime, and then it got a little bogged down, and then we finally got a good connection, and then we just started going in, and we just started talking, and so we still keep in touch now, and those are the stories I like to tell, those real ones, the
real raw, like the stuff that you're not gonna see on like network news,
for
right?
Sure.
I mean, we won't necessarily say that, but there's one thing that I want to say is that even Trump actually said it. Network news is losing respect from society, right? Because you don't know if they're lying to you, right? So there's something extremely real. And the ability to connect with podcasters or people on the ground level that really don't have a lot of influence. We don't have somebody telling us what we can and what we can't do. So when we're speaking, it's from the heart. You know what I'm saying? And it's as real as you can get. And that's something that I absolutely have to emphasize when it comes to Slapp Radio, bro. You on the ground with a mic holding it in somebody's face, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Rocky from the Village.
Oh,
you know Rocky?
Yes, I don't know him personally,
Okay.
but I've seen his work too, man.
Yeah.
Shout out, good work.
Because he's focused on sports. He's focused on Hawaii, right? And he's also waving a flag very similar to you and I. But to me, what I like is like the amount of lanes on this freeway right now, this social media freeway, this platform. Even my bro, he's doing his own thing too. Like there's so many, but there's some that don't give up. You're one of them. You know what I'm saying? And we also have that common thread of hip hop. We have the common thread of being from the Aina. Are you from here?
Yep.
Yeah, right? So we from here, and we also both really want to represent Hawaii in a righteous way.
For sure.
Right? Because our reach is global, right? You're interviewing people from Palestine that need their story to be told. You know, no matter if it's an opposing view or not, we have a similar style, like where we're not really trying to influence the extraction of information. We're just allowing it to happen, right? This is a platform. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's very similar with Taisei Discovers is that I'm not trying to make the most epic statements or sound super articulate or anything like that. I'm just being me, and then I allow my guests to shine. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I feel like there's common ground between the two.
There is, you know, we're all on the same frequency, and really, it's what is that, like the sound bowls? You know what I mean? It's one sound bowl hit your mind, one to hit your heart, one to hit your, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is, just what you want to tune into today.
Yes.
and I think you create a lane, you and your bro create a lane, we create a lane, we all create a lane, Rocky create a lane. Everybody's creating, and we need these stories to be told. Everybody has their own interests and things that need to, and everybody has a story to be told. And to be quite frankly, if we're going back to hip hop, media training too, you know, for some of the cats that's on the upcome too, when we're, you know, going ahead and interviewing them, they get some sort of, anybody really in general, they get some sort of like, okay, they wanted to tell their story and then they finally get the opportunity to do so. And then they do it on platforms like ours that are willing to just put it out there in a more unsensationalized way. Just this is what it is, and this is how you're going to get it, and this is the message. You can interpret it the way you'd like to interpret it, in my opinion.
No, that's you said it, man. And it's like I've also realized that like interviewing people, I see what it does from a guest.
Yeah.
You know, like when we post the reels and we collaborate with them and it lives on their platform, and then we post to YouTube, the full length, and then they're able to watch it. They're able to share it with their family members.
Yeah.
Their family members get a better sense of who their family member is that got interviewed. And you know what? It allows you to kind of fall in love with yourself.
For sure.
In a way that I think that is hard to do without having footage of you talking about your true life experiences and your true feelings. Because when you're being interviewed, right, in this space, things come out that you wouldn't normally talk about.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then sharing it with the world. I talked about trying to commit suicide.
I know you were really real with that one.
I did not plan that, bro. But it came out because the person I was interviewing went through something super similar. And then that's when the emotions came out. Kenji was over there like, oh no, is he going to talk about that? Only a handful of people knew about that. And now, you know, 100,000 people know about it.
Yeah.
You know, but what it's done is that I got DMs. Bro, I was in a similar situation, and I would have never thought you was in that situation, but you still doing your best to live life, and you're happy, and it looks like you rebounded from that hard situation. He's like, so I know it's possible. 20 DMs about people that had similar stories and how it helped them. You know what I'm saying? So like that's when I knew that I did the right thing by talking about something that made me feel so vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to James real quick. Let me ask you a question, because you said sensationalize, right? Like
Yes.
unsensationalized way. So that's how you would describe your content, is we do not sensationalize?
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes, that's fair.
But what's the driving force? Like, what would you say it is? Is it the messages, the voices? You know what I mean? Like, what is it if it's not sensationalism?
Yeah, it's just the story itself in its truest, most rawest form. I don't want to. There's a lot of media is influence. We can easily influence with sensationalism, all these nice graphics and all these kinds of cool things. But if the story is not real, you know, how does it hold weight? So I'm always trying to figure out ways to just tell the story as is, you know, give it to me, you know, even, well, I don't know. I don't know, cooking. I heard cooking the most simplest ingredients too, and bringing the flavors out, letting the flavors speak as loud as it can be. I'm not a chef, but you know, I'm just thinking. But
oh, you a chef, bro? You just cooking different, a different product. Yeah.
So even with beats, right? I'm only using the most simplest drums and layers and all that kinds of stuff. Everything I'm doing it goes back to music. Really, what it comes to.
Okay.
Everything that's being produced, I just look at it as that was the blueprint, and then I'm just gonna take that blueprint and I'm gonna apply it to something else, which is what the media is. So yeah, you're absolutely correct. I just sensationalizing. I don't want to influence. I don't want to do none of that. I'm not an influencer. I'm not none of that. All I am is just somebody who's a conduit for somebody who'd like to tell their stories.
I like that. Because, you know, like the whole Taisei Discovers channel, it went from being really raw to like now we got graphics and stuff like that, which, to be honest, I don't think that really speaks on who I truly am, because I don't need flashy shit. I'm more about the content first.
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is, and there's a natural evolution that happens and adjustments that are made so that you can kind of hone into who you actually want to be, right?
Exactly. And I'll give you an example. What you guys are doing is really giving a great platform visually too. It's art. You know what I mean? You guys are artists. So you guys are giving art in its most truest form. What I mean by sensationalizing is like it's the way, the inflections of how we're talking and the influence of that, and then having the visuals that might not be the true visuals of what the person might be talking about. It's altering a story,
yes,
so to speak, to influence a certain amount of people. What you guys are doing, what we are doing, what us is doing is just giving artistic platform where they can express themselves, and we can give it to the rest of the world in a more palatable, more digestible way, as opposed to, like you said earlier, if we are just in front of the camera ourselves talking, you know, it might not have that same ground. But when you have somebody that's interested in you, other people become interested.
Damn.
Bars.
See, bars.
That's what I think, though. That's just my thoughts. I don't know.
Hey, you know what I was thinking? Okay, this is a dope reel. I was like, bro, just that right there. And I was thinking how to cut it up and all that. And, you know, content creation, man, that's like, let's really dig into that. And, you know, you said, like, I'm not an influencer, you know, but you're a creator that has influence to your audience, right? And I'm one of the people in your audience watching what you do, and like when something new drops, I'm like, ooh, what's that? I was like that homie that has this fashion clothing line. I was like, did you fly up there just for that, bro? And then like the dude that won that nominated for the Grammy.
Yeah.
I saw you like damn, Jay, I love that you're traveling to do that. You're telling stories of, you know, the natives that have relocated, that are doing well in their own lane in different parts of the world. You know what? So what's next for Slapp Radio?
Man, that's a good question.
You going with the flow, huh?
Yeah. I'm going with the flow, but yeah, it's stars, and even I'm kind of, and I get inspired by you guys. Like when I watch the way you guys cut up too, I'm like, yo, I want to cut up something like that. Then let me try a new way of filming. So you know, I'm doing all this on my iPhone, really.
Yeah.
My iPhone 15. That's what I kind of got. And
wow,
you know, I needed to find a way to kind of travel and do my thing and then carry my own things. And so I had to learn all this stuff. But this is nothing new. You know, it's just kind of back in the day, doing beats again, doing hip hop again. And watching music videos being cut up, you know, just kind of sitting there and kind of looking through and seeing what's up, and then kind of applying that to now. But anyway, yeah, wherever there's a story, I want to be there. It doesn't matter where, you know.
Like the Pride, we were both at the Pride Parade.
We were. You texted me and I was over there. I was like, dang, I hope I passed you, but I didn't see you.
Yeah,
But,
I was where you used to work.
Yeah, Marriott.
Yeah.
Shout out Marriott.
Shout out. And I was with Britt, and you know, somebody else that
Shout out,
you know as well. Damn, the degrees of how we know each other through multiple circles, you know what I mean?
It just keeps going. It just keeps going, man. And you know, and for you, like, you kind of going back to your, if I may.
You can do whatever you want, man.
Okay, cool.
Nobody's telling us what.
Okay, cool. Because, you know, you're coming from the hip hop background, and then you said last night on your reel, you said, you know, I don't know what happened, but man, you blossomed into someone who's a really good GM. Can I say that?
Of course.
At Roy's.
Yes.
GM at Roy's, and yo, you're doing a phenomenal job over there. You're articulating it to me. I feel like you're creating your art, your background in art is also artistic way. I feel like everybody who does anything, if you're a doctor and you do it really well, it's an art form. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you put all that into this new way, and you incorporate music too. You have people that come up and rep and sing songs, and some really reputable artists too, and you create this whole vibe. And is that vibe what you would like to see, and that's why you put it out that way?
Yeah, bro. Thank you for saying that. It's something I don't think about a whole lot, but I've said on a previous pod that I see life as art. And like, I'm an artist, and whether my paintbrush is a mic or a dish of food, you know what I mean? Like, I'm painting every aspect of my day. I've said this before, from the way I brush my teeth, there's a better way to do it. From the way I make my bed, I'm going to place my pillows here and my blankets here. And like, I like it more aesthetically this way. This thing on the wall, I'm going to put it here. You know what I mean? Like, there's that. Just looking at life through an artistic lens allows me to satisfy the thirst that I have for creation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in every way, from the way I talk, and then it comes to hip hop. Like, I think I got a good block of time. I'm gonna write some bars. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this podcast is satisfying my thirst. It's quenching my thirst, because I know I got James coming up. Man, now I can do some cool research, dig into this man, and figure out what kind of things I want to talk about, but there's some guests. I want to say this too, because this is the first in our series of creators, interviewing creators. You're a creator, so there's going to be more that come after this, like our first responder series.
That was a great series too.
Thank you, and there's more. I got a Coast Guard dude coming up, a fireman. You know what I mean, like that. But what I was trying to say is that I want to talk to you more about creating.
Yes.
Okay. So like, social media and Instagram, that's your major platform, right? How important is engagement, and what does a like mean to you?
Oh, what a good question, man. You know what? A like is a like. Cool. I just put it out anyway.
Yeah.
I could get 1 like or 1,000 likes, and I just still put it out. The goal is just, it has to be seen in some way, shape, or form. Their story has to be seen. So, putting it on TikTok, putting it on Instagram, putting it on YouTube, a like is just a like to me. I guess to answer that question, I just want to see more people engage. I want to see more people hear the person's story, and that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, sometimes I get caught up, man, because to me, a like is a public way of somebody showing you their support.
Yes, absolutely.
Because when they like something, everyone can see that they liked it, right? And when they like it, they're letting the person that made the content know that I support you.
Yeah.
Right? But what I realized in this journey is that if somebody doesn't like something, it doesn't mean they don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I started getting caught up because like some of the vids that we post, I'll get 1,000 likes.
Yeah.
And then another one will get 50. And then I was like, am I doing something wrong? And what I realized is to not gauge the content off of the engagement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to do that in a world where, likes equate to success in a way.
It's like validation.
It is validation. It's validation that my content hit.
Yeah.
If somebody likes something, it actually took a lot for them to like it. Because if you think about it, when you're in your daily life, if you go to work, how many people say, hey, I like that shirt?
Yeah.
Right? But how many people think, damn, it's a nice shirt. He fits it well. I really like it.
Yeah.
In their head, but don't say anything. Social media, I think it translates to social media as well. And if for somebody to comment or somebody to repost takes a certain individual that is not afraid to support.
For sure.
Publicly. Right?
Yeah.
So I think my point is, I've had to go through my own journey of like processing what a like is, what comments are, what reshares, reposts are. And really at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? I stand by my content, and I think that was a great interview, and I'll rewatch it and feel good.
And that's what it is. Your interviews, your work is evergreen. It lasts forever. And so it's up on top of the post forever. It's on YouTube forever, or as long as technology and all that stuff is together, you know what I'm saying? But, other than that, it's there for people to revisit and watch. And, yes, I understand, because you'll go from like, dang, you look on and you see like 100 likes, 100 comments. You're like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. When did I post this? You know what I mean? Let me write this down and see if I can tap into the algorithm. And then you'll have some posts that are like, yo, what, 20 likes? Yo, we just spent all day cutting this up. You know what I mean? We just spent all day like trying to make the whole, like the production value in going to it. Even if it's a low production, it's just, there's like, you had to plan this. You told me to come here like 2 months ago. And you guys have everything pretty much set up and everything. And you would hope that people would hear the star, but sometimes it doesn't hit like that, and it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just all good, because every one that we do is an opportunity to get better for the next one. It always works out in our favor.
So what would you tell to the young cat or old cat that wants to get into this space, that maybe, tried putting a couple of things out and didn't get the reaction that they wanted? What would you tell that person?
Yeah, man, what would I tell them? I would say, hey, look, just keep at it. Just keep doing your thing. Don't worry about what everybody else is saying. Just keep going. Pick up that camera. Pick up that pen. Pick up whatever it is you want to be, a writer, a producer, whatever the case may be. Just do it. You got to do it first. We were just talking to Kenji earlier. You guys are evolving as we're going, and as you guys are going and learning what you might need or what you might need to improve on and all that kind of stuff. But you won't know unless you do it, unless you pick it up and try it. So just keep at it, keep doing it. And if your intention is pure, something's going to pop off. It has to. It cannot not pop off.
Yes.
If your intention is pure and real and you just keep it going. It's a marathon up in here. It's not a sprint and you lose breath and you're gone. It's a marathon. We jogging up in here. You in a run club. You be running.
Yeah. So funny. I was like, that's a quote. Hey, that's a quote. You know what I'm saying? Like what you just said. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and nothing good ever came easy. And anyone successful could tell you the journey. You might meet somebody or see somebody at the height of their success, and then think, I want that too. And want that instant gratification, but there's a delay. There's time. There's steps that are made for years. Right. I was just watching a thing on the YouTube, the start of YouTube, and they had like 40 something videos uploaded, and they were like, I'm depressed, man. Like it's not hitting. YouTube started as a dating site. Oh. They were trying to they're like, I see a need for men and women, and we can capitalize on that. And then a little bit into it, they're like, no, it needs to evolve. Right? So it evolved. They made adjustments, and then they have 40 videos. They're like, I don't even know if this stuff that we're uploading is stuff that I want to watch. Right? And look at YouTube today.
My goodness, the hugest platform.
Exactly. And for me, I'm not so focused on creating Taisei Discovers YouTube, like the end result of what we know YouTube to be. I'm focused on the evolution that we just talked about. And I'm just having fun along the journey, creating art, telling stories, helping people along the way, inspiring, right? And having fun and enjoying this process.
I can tell because it shows through the work. When you're tasting that wine, when you're eating that food, you're talking about the pairings, you're actually going into depth, you're blind guessing what year this wine is coming from. Like those are all the passion parts, because if you didn't have the passion, you'd probably stop a long time ago. You know what I mean? So those are all adding up, and it shows that you have the passion. So that's why I like watching you. I'm tuned in, man. I'm glued into what you guys are doing, man. I love you guys' content, man. The content is so fresh. It's what I like to watch. You know what I'm saying? And I see the potential in it, and you guys see it too, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to see what you guys do, 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, 3 months from now, a year. You know what I mean? Yeah,
thank you very much. And like I said, it's very mutual. I do want to get into it. We talked about collaborating.
We did,
right?
Yeah.
And one of my visions for a collaboration for us is going to involve music.
Yep.
Right? You said you haven't been making beats for a while.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can't make beats. You haven't DJ'd in a while. Doesn't mean you can't DJ. There's, like this right here, what you see on that screen.
Yeah, that's fly.
I like this energy, man.
I like that energy too.
You know, just the visual, the framing, the people that aren't, you know, like this probably family members of the DJ. So what we're looking at right now is we're looking at an Asian DJ that's also wearing a green jacket. She's vibing out, mixing music that I can't even hear right now. I think Kenji said it's 70s, 80s Japanese jazz. Nice. But this is a Chinese woman in a cabin with a kitchen in the back with what looks like her family members. Grandpa, grandma, maybe mom, dad. And you know what? They're from a different generation, but they're vibing out with their niece or their daughter or whatever. And to me, this is the most her that she can be. She had a vision for this. She put it out. That's the same thing that you're doing, James. This is the same thing I'm doing. But this is so dope that this is actually playing right now, Kenji. I don't.
You know, that was by design, my guy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, I gotta put this on.
Moving with intention, man. Thank you so much.
That's crazy because you didn't know that I had previously talked to him about doing something like this in the upstairs dining space at Roy's. I wanted to do something like this.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, how can we combine our powers, make this Voltron, and create a Hawaii version of a DJ playing a set with a bunch of interesting characters vibing out to it.
Yeah.
How can we do that?
I would love to do that. I think we just, you know, I don't know. You're a good curator. You curate really well. And man, just let me know that we shoot. I guess we just plan a date. Just put a date up in there and then we just kind of work towards that. But we can just collaborate, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we open.
Okay. Because so my brother has a friend, a very dear friend that is a master of sound. He's a master of curating when it comes to music and production and the whole setup of. We'll shout out to Fred Carlton. Shout out to Fred Carlton. He's worked with Incubus, right? He set up the sound for Incubus, the stage. What are some other groups? Red Hots?
Right now it's with Linkin Park.
Okay, so Linkin Park. He a local boy from Campbell High School, graduated with Kenji.
Wow.
That is now on a global stage, and he's a master of his craft. He lives in Kapolei, and he wants to do something too. So, you know what I mean? Like having these pieces that we could bring together easily.
Easy.
But what does it take? It takes the curation, right?
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, I think that's something that we work on off camera, but you heard it here first.
And you know we're going to shoot it, and it's going to look nice.
Yes, that's for sure.
You know that.
I'm looking forward to it. I feel like these are like this, again, it's capturing real moments, real things, real happenings, and it's going back to that rawness, you know what I mean? But still very beautifully shot, though.
Oh, yeah.
Artistically shot. You know, they got the glow in the lights. You know, it has like a slight mist around it, something like, you know what I mean? It's very... see, that's what most people don't understand, too, is like editing, Kenji. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Like, editing is like, it's such a... It's so important because it's just...
Well, you know, as a music producer, like a lot of the process comes into post.
For sure. A lot of it comes in post, and it's like, how do you not fatigue the ear, you know, so you can keep listening, so you can keep having that rewind quality. You know what I mean? It's just like, how do you keep the people engaged? It's sound, but it's also a visual too, where their eyes are not fatigued, where it's like, yo, that light is kind of too bright for me. This is like, it's perfect. You guys got that.
Yeah, thank you very much for recognizing that. I would have to say that definitely is where Kenji is at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what's so dope is I get to work with my brother, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Combining our talents and our years of experience, me with people, curation, Kenji with the technical aspect of it. But I don't know if you've seen any of his podcasts.
I have.
When I watch him, I'm like, damn, I gotta level up because his how articulate he is, how he's able to extract people with his he's like a professor when it comes to, you know, engagement. Whereas for me, I'm what moves me is emotion. You know what I'm saying? So we have a really good I would say synergetic relationship that really our two powers and energies complement each other really well. And if anybody's watching, we want to inspire you. But no matter how much we inspire anybody, they can't be what Taisei and Kenji is because it's just, you know, we're different. We want other people to be inspired and be themselves in their greatest way.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because we don't all want to wear the same clothes. You know what I'm saying? Stand out. You know what I'm saying? Stand out, bro. Look, I gotta shout out to James Westbrook. So can you explain this piece right here, bro?
Oh, yeah. So this right here, this is the Slapp Symphony unreleased hat that we wanted to drop with the track that we do with Marianne Ito and Josh Tofi. This is an off-white deep fit cap with a suede brim. They have the metallic gold puff embroidery on the top with the Slapp Symphony logo. And if you look at it, we wanted it to look like a team, but it also has the clef notes in there, so you can see that it's musically inclined too. And then if you turn it to the back right now, you have the buckle. It's a leather strap with a brass buckle on it. And oh, okay. Yeah, and then underneath you have the Slapp Symphony branding there with the slappsymphony.com, which is within the musical notes too, and it's in metallic as well. And I forgot about this little piece here, which is another tag. We didn't release this; it's unreleased. Made this about 2 to 3 years ago, and that was just me wanting to be artistically. I love fashion and I love clothes. I love all that kind of stuff. So this is my expression.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't want to be artistic. You are artistic, bro. Because there's the amount of thought and intention that went into that piece, right? That art piece.
Yep.
How come you never dropped it?
Man, good question, man. I just, that was around the time where we were looking to the radio. So that was a big pivotal moment to going into Slapp Radio. Mm-hmm. So it was that moment. That hat represents that moment.
Oh, tight. So because you didn't drop it, doesn't mean that you can't drop it.
Nah, it doesn't mean it. Yeah, so who knows? It might be coming out soon.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's talk about this wonderful woman here.
Oh, yeah, and that's the homie Marianne Ito. And this is the shirt that goes with the hat, and it's a print, and this was done at blank canvas, and this was shot by Antonio Augusto, Visionized Media, and yeah, this is it, featuring Josh Tofi, produced by Slapp Symphony, logo hit, and then we got the inside logo tag, which was done by Janice Gasper, who's a designer as well, graphic designer. So this also did not drop.
Yet.
But it might in the future. Who knows?
Because she's one of those artists that, I know her in passing. I've seen her in circles and in the clubs and stuff. So we know of each other, but I haven't really heard too much from her recently. She got like a kid or something?
She has a kid. She's had a kid actually while she was doing these projects. And I think I don't know. I just see she's a family woman, but I've heard that she wants to be, she's interested in doing music again, or she's writing is what I'm hearing. And, man, there's so much good artists coming out today, man. There's, the younger cats and the cats that are still doing it, like the Oos and then Suffice. I gotta say Punahele been doing it. I gotta say Il Nomadic. All these cats, you know what I mean? They're so good. 808. 808, the Boto Bangers.
The Boto Bangers.
Boys of the Ocean, is what they call them. But, Renzo, Audie, there's so much artists. And that's, with Slapp Radio, we're able to meet and go into their environment and listen to their music. And it's cool. It's cool to hear music. I think it's a quote that I heard, but it says, music defines society. And what is music? Music is storytelling, and that's the oldest form of storytelling is musical. Well, I don't know if it's the oldest form, but it is a form of storytelling from back in the day. A lot of the times we would pass down culturally things that were going on in the past through music, and I feel like that's what's happening now. Is like just an insurgence, and people want their visions to be heard or their outlook on how they lived in Kalihi. So let's hear what's going on in Kalihi. Let me turn on this song. Let's hear what's happening in Wahiwa, which is why it was good when I heard Jaitik, because I get to hear what's happening around the island with you guys. You know what I mean? Like you guys, Mailbox Bashers, Isolated Minds. It was that crew that allowed me to take a glimpse into what it's like to be in Ani Ani or, to be from the West Side. I'm not from I'm from town, but what's going on over there? Music told me about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a glimpse into a world. So that's how I feel about music, and that's why I love it so much. And I always incorporate the musical aspect into everything that I do, and I think I always will.
Damn, always singing the song. Well, I think that's a great transition into my gift for you, bro.
Oh, dang, what?
So a lot of you might not know what a compact disc is. A compact disc, also known as a CD, right? This is post cassette. post vinyl. But last night, bro, I was one of the things that I was doing was I was trying to figure out how to burn a CD because I forgot.
For sure.
And I had everything I needed. I just couldn't do it. So what I did was I looked into my collection of CDs because at a point in my life, I was the dude making playlists, passing them out.
Still curating.
Yes.
Huh?
Oh, yes, bro.
Back then curating. Huh?
I have over 100 different CDs in one of my albums, and each of them have a name like Snug Clinic or The Afterthought. Because I needed to name these playlists because I needed to remember what vibe I was on at the time.
Yeah.
And each one of them is is pretty much all hip hop, jazz and soul, neo soul, R&B and beats. And Taisei is a soulful motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like I'm always on that down tempo stuff. You know what I mean? So I was looking for this CD. This is one of the ones I was looking for, and it's a Jaitik Kalo Patch. What does it say? Fort Alive.
What?
Bro,
there's a Fort Alive on there?
There's a Fort Alive track. So there's tracks on here. Like when you listen to this was so guerrilla that there was like, you can hear mouse clicks.
What you guys was recording on?
GarageBand, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like GarageBand. There was another thing that Jik recorded on, but I do have the Jumbo Nut Necklace on here.
Okay, nice.
There's also a Illmind Beat track that we made. I think it's called Bout It or something. I forgot the names. But anyway, this is for you, man. There's Kalo Patch Kids, so there's K-Love on here too. But keep in mind that this is as raw as can get. There's no mixing and mastering. This is just talented young lions rapping on beats. And there's a lot of flow and this melodic, you know what I mean? There's dope cadences in here. I was listening to it, I was just like, man, it's reinvigorated me in a way. So I'm giving this to you so you can have, but it also, I also think, because you do the Slapp Radio and you do like, you know what I'm saying, you feature certain artists, right? Frick, I do want to give you a more intentional playlist, but you can use that for whatever you want.
Nah, drama. We're going to put this on right now. Like music never dies. Mm-hmm. Art never dies. To me, this appreciates. You know what I'm saying? In my eyes, this is something that's. Thank you so much, because I was listening to these records, a couple of your records on the way here, just to get reacquainted and just to take me back to that time. You know, whenever I think of you guys, I think of Jik too in like a Cadillac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think of that stuff, man. You guys was always so cool, man. So it's so cool to have this like flashback, like a throwback, and yeah, like I said, we're going to throw this into rotation. That's why this is important, is to tell the story. This is storytelling, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you are a storyteller, man. Kenji, you got any questions for Mr. Westbrook?
I would say, what do you think is the hardest part of what you do? Like, what is the biggest hurdle for you right now?
Okay, good question. How about this? I'll say this. You know, when I kind of already learned my flow as far as like the stories I want to tell and all that. And we talked about vulnerability and that. And it's one of it is like when I tell the story on one side, then you get a backlash from the opposite side, or maybe it's just the community and you get so much opposing different views and all that. Sometimes I'm like, man, I even second guess things sometimes, like, man, should I have even said that? Like, should I have even put that out? Do I archive it? Do I delete it? And then so sometimes when I put stuff out, I go through some times where it's like, man, I don't even know about this. And I ponder the delete button. My hand is hovering over it, man. But then I have to get over it and say, you know what, it's bigger than me and my feelings. It's about the story, So sometimes it's putting the story out and having communities kind of just, opposing at each other. And that's not what it's meant. That's not why it's out there. It's just, it's there to understand that person's side of the story.
Yeah.
And maybe that other person might want to tell their side. And so that's two people just sharing their, like, ho'oponopono, you know what I mean? Like, let's share our stories and let's figure out a way to make it all work for where we all win. That's really what the goal is. But anyway, back to what I was saying. That's kind of like one of my things that I go through per post. So if you're saying one of the hard things, it's not even telling the story. It's not even getting the story. It's just what happens after the story.
Ooh. Have you ever gotten negative energy towards your posts?
Oh my gosh, yes. And I will say I did. there was this one post where there's a homie named Ted, and
I do know Ted.
yeah,
Oh my
okay,
God.
so you guys know where I'm going with this, right?
Yes.
So it was the homie named Ted, and recently he's going through his struggles.
Yeah.
Yo, really, we grew up in Hawaii, so we understand it anywhere really, but you grow up with this lens of what you see, normalizing drugs, normalizing prison, growing up in neighborhoods. I'm used to seeing that. Doesn't mean I'm saying that I'm glorifying it, but I recently saw a post on him, and I was like, okay, wow, that I see a post on him. It just shows Ted for who he is at that time. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, shoot, if I ever see him, man, I would love to just show others the other side of him. Mm-hmm. So one day I'm walking down the street in Chinatown, and I'm walking, I have my head down, I'm going to my chiropractor, right? So I'm over there looking at my phone, like, okay, where was it at? And all of a sudden somebody pulls up in front of me on a bike, brakes, and says, yo, film me, man. Yo, James, throws the bike to the side, and he starts freestyling. I'm like, it's Ted. You know what I mean? This was the next day after I saw that particular post of him. So I'm like, okay, I have none of my equipment with me. He's telling me to film him. So I pull out my phone. I start to film him, and this goes on for like 20 minutes of him just freestyling. And I'm just listening. I'm looking for an opportunity to ask him, what happened? Is everything okay? Like, and he starts to say, he says a few words, and this blower, just like, when you're blowing the weeds or the dust around starts happening. So he's like, where are you going? I said, I'm going to my chiropractor. He says, I'll walk with you. So I said, okay, let's walk. And then, so we're talking, and then I keep asking him, are you okay? Is there anything we can do to help you? And we get to by Donner Shack in Chinatown, and then that's when the video that I showed was happened right there. So I made it so that it's like, okay, I'm asking him how he's doing, and if he needs any help, what kind of resources can we give, if at all. And at the end of the video, I posted another, like at the end of that video, it fades into a clip of where he's playing music. So it shows him about his musical aspect, but then him as how he is now. And it got a lot of mixed reviews, and it got a lot of bad reviews. And a lot of it was like, yo, you're just doing it for the likes. You're just doing it for the clout. And I'm like, man, not really. I was actually crying a lot when I was making that video because, you know what I mean? I know the homie, and a lot of family members have been on it, and there's nothing I really could do. It's just they have to want to change for themselves. Yeah. And that's my experience personally with dealing with people who are in their struggle, And so, it just got a lot of, it got a lot of hate and, saying that I was just doing it for clout, but that's really not what it was, And I got people that said, leave it up for awareness. And I got people that said, wow, I never knew. I seen him around town. I never knew he was a musician. I'm like, a genius, actually. A genius, actually. So that was one of the times that I definitely got a lot of backlash for it. And, there was people saying, how can they help? You know what I mean? And, I talked to the brother, you know what I mean? I talked to a few others, and it ended up coming down, so.
Oh, you ended up taking it down?
Yeah, it ended up coming down. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow.
He got flagged to come down, so.
Because a lot of people probably reported it. Yeah. Not necessarily a lot, but even if a couple do. But you know what? I thought the same thing when I saw it. I was like, oh, man, I didn't think that you were doing it for clout. I was just wondering, I was just sad to see him in that state, bro. Yeah. Because I've been in ciphers with him at the Thundercat show is when I first met him, and it was me, Mox, and Kay, and we were rapping, and his beatbox and his singing and his just everything. I was just like, who is this man? And from that point, I was like a fan of everything that man has done. His visuals, the way he composes music, and he puts it over like old, the old cartoons and stuff. Like I was just like, man, this boy he's in it. And to see when I saw that video, the thing that I felt, the emotion that it sparked was, oh no, did we lose another one? You know what I mean? Another genius to drugs. And thank you for sharing your account of that.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
You know, hey, chat, don't come at me, man. You know, I was just trying to tell a story. You know what I mean? I felt it in me to just share it.
Yeah.
And you know, I learn a lot. You know, there's a lot of sensitivity things in there too.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah.
What's good? I'm James Westbrook with Slapp Radio, and that's Slapp with 2 P's, the sight and sound of Pacific and beyond. And right now, I'm here at Taisei Discovers. It's a dope-ass platform, of course, with Kenji behind the lens. It's something that you want to see. I'm honored to be here. You can reach me at Slapp Radio, and that's Slapp with 2 P's on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all the above. You can check us out on slappradio.com. Check out some of the past shows. And hey, look, if you're trying to do it, just do it. That's all I got to say. Much love and respect. I hope to see you in the future. See you next time.
Damn.
That was
Set
the bar, homie.
That was perfect, dog.
Bro, that was fun.
You see how that went, bro? Like, just quick, synergetic. You know what I mean? Boom, 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 boom. Like, not all podcasts are like that.
Yeah. I loved it, man. Thank you so much. And, you know, obviously...
Picks right here, you know
Yeah, we get some pics. Yeah.